Hi all, welcome to another section on data types in Python. In the previous video, we discussed about the inbuilt data type number and string. In this video, we are going to discuss the rest of the data type, that is list, tuple and dictionary. List is used to store a group of elements or objects. It can store the same type as well as different types of elements. So in other words, I can say it is heterogeneous. It's dynamic in nature. That means we don't need to mention the size of the list while declaring the list. The size will increase dynamically. The list can also store duplicate elements. There's no problem for that. List objects are also mutable, which means we can modify or change the content of the list even after the creation. We will see an example for list. I have created a new file in Spyder and named it as list_operations.py. So I'm going to use a teacher list variable for storing the names of teachers who are taking subjects for a class. So I'm naming my variable as teacher_list is equal to square brackets represent a list object, and within this square bracket I have to give the value. So I am giving the value Shija, Jisha, Robin, then John. This is my teacher list. So suppose I want to access the first item from this list. I can just simply give teacher_list of 0. That will give me the first item in my list. So in a list, usually the indexing starts from 0. Jisha at index 1 and Robin at index 2 and John at index 3. So this is how we have to access the element. Suppose I want to access the last item of this list. It's very easy, right? You can easily give print of teacher_list of 3. That will give me the value John. This is okay with a small list, but what if the list is having numerous data items? It will be difficult, right? For that, there's an option like negative indexing. You can make use of negative indexing for getting the last item from the list. Let's see what's the output. See, I'm getting John very easily. So what if you want to access the second last value from that list? Obviously, then you can just give teacher_list, and instead of this -1, you just put -2. That will help you to solve that problem. Suppose I want to get the list of first grade teachers in that list. You just give teacher_list of 0, teacher_list of 1, then teacher_list of 2, right? So in Python, you can make it more easier with slicing operator. List, you can just give 0, first 3. So you have to give 3 there. Let's see whether I am getting the output or not. See, I am getting the first 3 teachers, that is Shija, Jisha and Robin. This index means it's the starting index for that subset, and this index, that is the ending index, means it will take only up to 3 minus 1. So it will take all items at indexes starting from 0 to 2. Suppose you want to print the entire list, then you can give print teacher_list. Just make it run. You can see the entire list is being printed. That is how you have to access the items from a list. Suppose this is a list of teachers. We planned for taking the subject before the commencement of the class. And now the teacher is changed for one subject. So I'm going to remove Jisha from this list, and instead of that I am adding some other teacher's name for taking that subject. I know that her position is at 1, right? I'm giving the name like Nimi. So I'm going to change Jisha from this list, and instead of her name, Nimi will come. Let's see what's the output now. You can see Jisha value is being replaced by Nimi, right? This is one way of replacing it. or you can simply replace Jisha with Nimi with some other function that I will tell you later. To access the length of that teacher list, just give len, okay, len of teacher list. That will give you the number of items in that list. Suppose you want to get the number of occurrences of an item from this list. For that you can just make use of count, that is the list object teacher underscore list dot count, and within this I can give that name. This is 1. So this is how you can make use of the count function for getting the number of occurrences of a particular item in that list. Suppose I want to add one value as the last entry of this list. For that I can make use of the append function in list, that is just give the object name teacher list dot append, and within that provide a name. Okay, save it and just execute it. You can now see my list is being modified. From the Explorer you can see that, or if you want to see the teacher list as such, you can just type teacher list in the console. That's a spelling mistake. You can just give teacher underscore list. See, now the value Geeta is appended to the list. Suppose I want to insert a new item in my list in between the list items. Okay, in that case, I can make use of the insert function, and it accepts two arguments. One is the index where you want to insert the new item, and the second is the new item itself. So I am planning to insert my new item just after Nimi, which is the second item in my list. So I want to insert in my index 2 comma hidden. I am providing this value. Just execute it and just check whether your teacher's list is modified or not. Now you can see Shija, Nimi, Hidden, Robin, John and Geeta. So Hidden is inserted in between Nimi and Robin successfully. Okay, so that's done. You can remove an item from the list by giving the item name itself, or you can remove using the index. Okay, there are two methods for that purpose. If you are going to remove the item by the item name itself, you can just use remove method, and inside this you can provide the name. Okay, suppose I want to remove Shija from this list. Make it run. Before that, just clear your console. Just execute the program. Okay, and just see what is the value in that teacher list. See, Shija is being removed. And the other way is you want to remove the second last item. Okay, in that case you just give a method pop, and within that you can give the index. I just want to remove the second last item, so it will be John who is going to be removed from the list, right? Save it, just execute the program, and now check whether John is being removed from the list or not. See, John is removed. So these are some of the functions you can make use of for. Then other method is, suppose I want to sort this list. I can make use of sort. Just execute it and check your teacher list now. See, now it's a sorted list. Suppose I want to extend teacher underscore list with another list. Just save it, execute it, and see what is the output you are going to get. Okay, just check teacher underscore list. See the list Gauri and Nitya. Okay, that is being added at the end of that list. That is teacher underscore list plus list 2 is the resultant list we got. So that's all about list. So the next data type is tuple. A tuple is a sequence of immutable Python objects. Immutable means once we create a tuple object, we cannot modify the content of the tuple object. This is the only feature which differentiates tuple from the list. It can store duplicate values as well. There's no problem for that. Here also, just as in list, it supports both positive and negative indexes. And you can see a tuple here, which is the tuple object is data, and you can see the values which are enclosed within the parenthesis, and each item in that tuple object is separated by a comma. So let's see some practical example of this data type. So I have created a file in Spyder and named it as tuple_operations.py for practicing tuple data type. So here I am going to create an employee tuple that contains the name of the employee number, and the year in which he joined the company. So for representing a tuple object, just use parenthesis. I am going to give the value John, comma, the employee called as E046, and the year is I am going to give it as 2019. Okay. Now you can see a mix of data type inside this tuple. Once this is created, I can't modify this data during runtime. You can create a tuple like this, and you can also ignore this. Then also it will take this employee as a tuple data type. You can access the tuple items in the same way you access the list items. If you want to print the entire item, just execute this file. Okay, your employee tuple is now ready with the number of items as 3. Here also you can access each individual item from this tuple with the help of index. So suppose I want the first item, then I can go like employee of 0. Okay, then I will get John, and if I want to get the second last element, I can just give -2. Okay, then it will be displayed. That means here also we can use the negative and positive indexing. Everything is same to list. That is the way you are getting the information on the data type, but you cannot modify. That means you cannot insert items, you cannot append it, you can modify the tuple data items. You can't modify the tuple data items. You can't remove any item from that list using any other functions. So that's the only difference between the list and tuple. The rest is same. You can just access the length of this one using length function. Okay, and inside this you just give the tuple name, that is the employee here. Just save it, make it run. Now you are getting 3, which is the number of items in that tuple object. Suppose I want to get the count of a particular item in that tuple. I can just give employee dot count, and within bracket I can give 2019. Then it will give me the information like what is the count of that particular item in that tuple object. So it's 1 only, right? So I am getting the value 1 here. Here also I can make use of that slicing operator to get a sequence of items from this tuple object. Suppose there comes a situation where by mistake I have input a wrong employee number for John. So let's try to modify it. Employee of 1 equal to E047. Okay, I have to actually modify the value to E047. Let's try whether it's possible in tuple or not. Ctrl S, make it run. See, you are getting a message like tuple object does not support item assignment. So you cannot modify a tuple data type. So that's all for this tuple data type. We will move to the next data type, that is dictionary. If you want to represent a group of objects as key value pairs, then we should go for dictionaries. So when I initialize the data for employees, Okay, you have seen that I just give the name, comma, then the employee number, then the year in which he joined the company, right? But only I will know that. So you can make it more readable if you are going for a dictionary. So you can represent the data in the form of key value pairs, and the key and values are separated by colon. It's mutable in nature. That means you can make modifications on a dictionary object. Here duplicate keys are not allowed, but duplicate values are allowed. You cannot use indexing and slicing concepts in dictionary data type. So let's see an example for dictionary data type. I have opened a new file and named it as dictionary_operations to practice dictionary data type. I have created a dictionary object employee and included the key value pairs. A dictionary object is represented by curly braces, and within that you can provide the key value pairs. Here it's name, John, one pair, employee number E047 is another pair, join year 2019 is the last key value pair. So each key value pair should be separated from the rest of the key value pairs using comma, and the key and the value, they are separated by colon. So that's how you can create a dictionary object in Python. So just save this. So your dictionary is now ready. You can access the item from that. Suppose I want to get the value for name. Okay, in that case I can use employee, that is the object. Okay, and within the square bracket just mention the key and just enter it. I can retrieve the value for this key. Another way is you can just give employee dot get, and within that you can specify the name. Then also you will get the value for that key. Okay, suppose I want to modify the employee number. In that case you just give employee, within square bracket give emp_number and just specify the value, new value you want to give, that is E048. Come to the variable explorer, just execute it. Now you can see your value is changed to E048. So you can modify the value, and suppose I want to add one more key value pair to this, like last company. Okay, and I am giving a value of Infosys. Just save it and let's see whether there will be any change in my dictionary object or not. See, now I have added one more key value pair, that is last company as Infosys. Suppose I want to delete this last company key value pair from the dictionary object. For that just give del followed by employee, and within this you just give that key value. Just check whether it's been deleted from our dictionary object or not. Just give employee. See, it's deleted from our employee object. Suppose I want to get the number of key value pairs in my employee dictionary. Just give like this. Then it will return the number of key value pairs in my dictionary object. Suppose I want to create a copy of this employee dictionary. I am creating a new object employee copy, which is replica of this employee object. For that I can just make use of copy function. Save it, execute it. Just see what is there in this employee copy. You can see employee_copy is an extra copy of employee dictionary object itself. So that's all about the dictionary data type. We have seen how you can create a dictionary and how you can do manipulations in dictionary. You have seen different data types, list, tuple and dictionary in this video. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.